Hello, my name is Tom Elmore. Welcome to Mission Bound Podcast, and I've got my host with me, 2004 NBA champion Mike James.
Who?
Mike James. And today we're going to have a lot of fun. We have an amazing guest on us, NBA player, Mr. Ricky Davis. Ricky, thank you for being on the show today.
Hey, yeah, thanks for having me, guys.
Ricky, real quick, looks like you're sitting in your car. What's going on, man? Did your wife tell you to go do the podcast in the car?
Yeah, she had me out on the couch last night. No, I'm good. I just left the gym here, so just coming out and pulled over to the side so I can catch up with you guys.
Well, thank you for doing that. Hey, you're still hitting the gym, man. That's great.
Oh yeah, gotta hit the gym, man. It's all about good health.
Absolutely. You seen Mike lately? He hasn't hit the gym, so that's good. I'm glad.
Yeah, no, I seen him a couple days ago. He came to the gym. Come check us out and get a good run in and get a good sweat.
No, but it's interesting because Tricky, you are in one of the best shapes that I've seen with guys over 40. You've changed your diet, you've changed the way you look, but you're still running around like a chicken with your head cut off. Like I cut off, and it takes me about 45 minutes to get loose. And then it took me about another 10 minutes, and then done after that. I only got 10 minutes of but how have you been able to keep up, with the same motor that you had when you even played in the game?
Well, Mike, the last couple years, I've actually changed my diet. I've went all vegan, all alkaline, and it's just been great for me. It helps me lose weight, keeps my energy up. And going in with this with the 40-year-old body, we got to be a lot clearer and a lot more healthier. So stop eating meat, and it's just been great for me.
So Ricky, just talking about the vegan thing for just a minute, do you miss it? Do you miss the meat? Do you miss the steaks? Do you miss all that?
Well, yes, I definitely do. Every time I see it, I miss it. But ingesting it and eating it, I don't miss it. The way it made me feel, the tiredness, the fatigue, the growing, can't knock down the weight, and can't cut yourself back up. So it's just been great for me. Great energy and less getting more fatigue. So it's been really good for me.
Man, that's been my problem. I just got off the weight scale yesterday, man, and I was 220. I said, I'm going to get back in the gym.
Baby.
Finally on me. It happened on my birthday. I think I gained 10 pounds on my birthday.
First off, happy belated birthday too, Mike. But as we get older, the metabolism slows down, man. So eating healthy, try to get my kids to start eating healthy and be mindful of what they're putting in their temple.
That's beautiful. I think that's the issue, is because one, I know when my wife goes grocery shopping, we tried it for about 6 months. She stopped buying dairy. She stopped buying, junk food. And we were good, but it was like my house became real boring and lethargic. And all of a sudden, the cookie, the peanut butter, it all came back. The caramel. So now
it all came back.
Oh, you're gonna see crunchy, chewy, caramelly,
everything.
All the juice. So that's our problem. It's her fault. It's not
right.
If she changes the way she shops, then we'll change the way we eat.
Then we're exactly. Yeah. And that's what it's all about, changing that shopping. Like you said, it's easy to go back, get the snacks and start trying to snack on stuff, but trying to put it back in your diet. But I just try to fast as much as I can.
Ricky, we came right out of the gate with the vegan thing. That's huge, right? That's big. Hey, you played 12 seasons in the NBA, and you played for the Hornets, the Heat, the Cavs, the Celtics, the T-Wolves, Miami, Clippers, and then you did some international stuff. Real quick, what was your favorite team? Which one did you really like? Man, I love playing there.
I love. It was 3 states for me. I loved Miami, I loved Boston, and I loved LA.
And by the way, I'm wearing this shirt today. This has got, no, I was just letting you know, I'm wearing this shirt in honor of your Miami tenure. That's all. I did some research.
Yeah, that's what's up. Yeah, Miami's this was a great place. That was one of the first place I ran into Mike. And just being with Pat Riley and teaching you about off court, on court, team situations and different, a whole lot of teaching. It was a good stop for me. Got me a chance to realize what the NBA game was all about, offense and defense. And then I had Boston, Doc Rivers in Boston, and the Clippers. Great place, to live and have a family. So those are my great places.
So you mentioned Pat Riley. He taught you stuff on the court and off the court. What do you remember about him teaching you off the court?
He taught you about the real, actually. He taught you about off-court appearances, what you look like, how you carry yourself, how you build your brand. He talked about family things, and he got you realizing it's bigger than basketball. Once you realize it's bigger than basketball, taking care of your family, taking care of the responsibilities off the court, like you do on the court, you'll be well balanced. So learning that at an early age was real good for me.
Sounds like he was trying to make you a better man, not just a better player.
Yes, exactly. Because once you're a better man, you start realizing responsibilities and different kind of morals, and it helps your characteristic.
So how many more years do you think it added on to your career because you were in that environment?
Well, it added on, several years. I got drafted at a young age. I was 17 years old. So,
Wow.
um, you know, I had a lot of mature things to grow into as a man.
I mean, you'd only been driving a car for like a year.
Yeah, barely driving. I'm not even 18 yet, and
Wow.
just being at that age and have to change from being a kid to being an adult was what I had to learn, responsibilities and what it was all about. I think was my challenge.
17 years old. Would you recommend another young man to go on your journey into the NBA that way? Would you recommend that? 17 years old, in?
I sure will. I think it was great for me. It actually helped me not get time to pick up bad habits. At a young age, you're capable of playing with that quality and that high rate of basketball. It's just learning it and getting adjusted to the game and not changing your bad habits, basically. So me getting adjusted to the NBA game, that was the only game I had to adjust to. So I think it helped with my longevity.
That's very interesting because you didn't have the late in high school, you didn't have your college tendencies, and then all of a sudden they're trying to push you into a whole new level. You just went straight into that level. That's a big deal.
Straight into that level. Yes.
Rick, that's interesting because there's such an issue for young players coming into the NBA early, and then you also have such a high percentage of players that they should have stayed in college, until junior, senior year. And then you say that you're all for, the player making that transition early. See, your story isn't the victory story for the overall, the analytics of all the players that come out.
Right. Yeah, this I do. I think, and nowadays I think they're bringing the younger guys back into the NBA. So I think I think it's good. I think it's real good, because, in certain things you can send a kid to war at 15, 16 years old. So why can't he go to the NBA and learn that game? I think the NBA should have a lot more things for the younger guys to have to go through, as far as finances, making the right decisions, having the right people around them, entourages, and different things that he can be prepared for. I think they should put more things like that, because most of your stars and your all-star these days are straight from high school. So to stop them coming from high school is just kind of weird.
So we did a little research on you, Ricky, and we found an interesting fact, and we were hoping you'd talk about it a little bit here. There was a point in your career that you signed with a sports agency called No Limit Records. And that was a little out of the box, right? Tell us a little bit about what was that like to sign with a rap label as your sports management company?
Yeah, it was definitely out the box. Master P was one of the hottest things moving at that moment.
Yeah.
And with coming up in my culture and from the inner city, it was attracting to me. With him being on top in the entertainment world and trying to start one of the biggest sports agency around, it was interesting for me. But how
did it ultimately go?
It worked pretty good. I was only with him for a short time. So I didn't get caught in all the bad negotiations and some of the stuff that happened. But, I went from a great agent, Arn Tellem, and you maybe shouldn't have left that, because Arn's one of the best agents in this league. But, I had my experience with Master P. It got me to, teach me stuff off the court, on the court, how to be an entrepreneur. So I took some stuff from it. Went from there to Dan Fagan.
Oh, wow.
It wasn't bad. It wasn't a bad move. During the lockout, it wasn't a lot going on anyway. I was stuck in my 4-year contract anyway for my rookie year, so I really wasn't missing anything.
Did you get, like, during that time with Master P, did you get a whole lot of backstage pass?
What'd you say?
The coolest part about being with Master P is you get to wear his necklace.
Yeah, I get to wear the necklace, iced out Rolexes, go to the shows. It was perfect for a 17, 18-year-old kid.
Rick, I know that we got an opportunity to spend some time in the Big 3 League together, which was a great experience, man. And I just wanted you to just shed some light on it. We had an opportunity almost to play with each other. But
man. It was great. I would love to play with you, Mike, on that if I could have made those decisions. But, like I said, the Big 3 was, hats off to Ice Cube for starting that league. It helped a lot of guys transition. You got a lot of guys that's unemployed looking for, their next season or their next job. And, when you're not unemployed, you don't get called to training camp, it throws a little confusion in there. So, that league helped guys transition on managing their time, to see what they want to do. So just hats off to Ice Cube for starting that league.
Do you wish you could have played longer in it? Do you wish you would have continued, or was enough on that?
No, I'm still playing actually. I'm now the captain of the Ghost Ballers. Mike Bibby has actually went to coach for Trilogy. But this year we got canceled. I'm unemployed, just like everyone else now. So I definitely feeling the pain. But so I'm still in it. I'm still going.
That was the good thing with the Big 3. Also, is like you said, it gave veteran guys that still had a little fan base, an opportunity, and still had an itch to play the game of basketball, an opportunity to still play basketball on a competitive level, but not have to play full court because it's an old man's game.
Right.
It turned into an Olympic sport. So now 3-on-3 basketball became completely cool all over again.
Exactly. And now everybody's playing it. Like you said, the Olympics is picking it up. So it's getting bigger. It's huge. And it's fun for guys, in older age, just playing that old school 3-on-3, beat 'em up basketball, is always fun.
I mean, I thought it was fun also, but the problem was we would play on Saturday. I had to take off like 2 days because my body was hurting basketball. So
right.
Start training until like Wednesday
to get it back. So you never got into a rhythm. Mm-hmm. Yes, exactly. Right. So yeah, man. So thank God it was only half court for us.
So Ricky, I got a question. You played with Mike in Boston, right?
Yes.
Do you have a good Mike James story? Is there something that you remember like, that was Mike?
No, yeah, I got a few stories with Mike, but Mike's always, Mike's just always Mike. Mike's never, changing himself to fit in with people. Mike is just always Mike. Mike taught me a lot, though. He taught me how to get into my word a lot. He taught me how to stay focused and, no matter how hard it gets, just to stay focused. So I picked that up from you, Mike, just to let you know that. But, it was always fun playing with Mike. Great dad and great family, man. So just, that's my guy.
I'm gonna tell a Ricky moment.
Yeah.
I remember I was playing it with the Houston Rockets, and I just got, I'm in Milwaukee. I played with them in Boston, the year before, and so we were playing against one another. And Marcus Banks, he was like my nemesis when I was in Boston. So he rips me at like half court. So I'm mad right now, and all I'm thinking to myself is, okay, I got to get this ball back somehow. So I tried to take a charge, and as I took the charge, I was like, Mike, what are you thinking right now? All I see is you like kneeling in my neck, and I to the ground, and you started screaming, and you doing the Ricky Davis thing, woo, the Ric Flair.
Yeah.
I was truly praying to God that the referee will call a charge, and when I heard him give the enthusiastic and one, I said, man, this is not going to turn out good. So
man.
And when you realized it was me on the floor, you stopped screaming and you looked at me and was like, Mike, what were you thinking?
What were you thinking? I remember that. Yeah, I remember that so bad. Man, that was so funny. I was so hyped up, and I think that was right after my Steve Nash dunk. So I was doing all my after dunk thing and looked up and I seen Mike and I was like, oh no, that was Mike. So I didn't want to keep going. So I was like, Mike, what was you thinking, man? Yes. Man,
so here's a question for you, Ricky. If you saw it was Mike before you did that, would you have changed the play at all? Would you have been a little easier? Would it have?
I think it was actually too late. It was actually too late. By the time I caught the ball, I was kind of already in 1-2 stride. So I think it would have been too late.
Yeah,
fair enough.
Yeah. But that was a good one.
So, Ricky, obviously the NBA is about to come back. Orlando is happening. And what is your thoughts about specifically, like, what do you think of this season? And do you think it's safe to come back? And man, they're talking about quarantining and all kinds of different things going on in Orlando. What's your general thoughts on all that?
Well, I think it's terrible. The guys coming back playing this season, I think it's terrible. They're actually making up a season that's something made up. It's not in the collective bargaining agreement. It's something that's just made up on the fly. I think we shouldn't go back. I think the coronavirus and the pandemic is a little more serious than basketball right now. Life's a little more serious than basketball right now. I have a few family members that's affected by the coronavirus. I haven't had anyone pass yet, but you're putting people in jeopardy. You're putting families in jeopardy. You're putting the players' injury at an all-time high for guys leaving and coming back. I think they should just take the time, reflect, maybe change some collective bargain agreements that they don't agree with the real NBA season. I think that's what we should be working on as a collective group, getting what we want as players rather than just jumping, on the bandwagon trying to get back to play whatever kind of season this is going to be. Who knows? But I don't think it's the right move. I think it's too fast. I don't think our collective bargaining agreement is on the same page with players. So I think we need to work on bigger moves and better moves rather than just playing some made up AAU season. So that's my thoughts on it. I could be totally wrong, but I think the coronavirus is a little more serious than basketball right now.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And here's the question. If you were in the NBA right now, would you go back?
No. And I would be pushing for these guys to maybe, I think outside the box. I'm one of those guys that think we create the agent, not the agent create us. So I'm one of these old school guys that I will be collective getting these guys together to start our own basketball season, start our own league. Get what we want. It's just a league. It's just a name. We have the power to go get sponsorships. We have the TV to go get TV revenue. We have the power to do a lot of things right now. So it's bigger than just this AAU season they're going to put together, because that's basically what it is. It's just a basic AAU season. All the teams aren't involved. We're not playing a real structured season. So that's what I think about it.
Well, that's pretty interesting, honestly. Um, do you feel like the players should go out and form their own league?
I think so. I think that we should go for our own league. Um, I played in the NBA for 12 years. I've been around it for a while. I still don't know who our owners are.
Hmm.
We got David Stern and Adam Silverman, but who's our owners?
Right. Exactly. Who are they?
Who owns the NBA? Does anybody know?
It's a collective group, right? I don't think it's one owner in particular, right?
No one knows.
And so what does that mean to you? Do you think there should be one owner of the NBA? Do you think there should be, hey, these are the people that are the gatekeepers?
It should be more we should know more, I think.
Okay.
We've produced a lot of money for this league. And we haven't even had the right collective bargaining agreement sometimes. Ex-NBA players, retired players, some of them are hurting, going broke, no insurance, no dental insurance, no vision insurance. It's a mess right now. So I think as a unit, we should sit down and collectively think about our best interests.
So you mentioned a few things there. If you could get a few things added into the collective bargaining agreement right now, what would be your top 2 or 3 things? Like, we got to have those for players. Got to have them.
I think we should have some kind of retired pension, or not pension because we have a pension, but we should have something working for the players just in case we have something wrong with bad representation, bad business deals. Because you have lawyers, you have construction people, you have judges, you have police officers, military people. You have all these people that when they're done, they have jobs. They can go into a field where they want to go. With the NBA, they throw us away like wolves. They just throw us away. So I think we need to put in place something for the future. I think we need to, maybe if we want to allow high school kids to come in, maybe allow them to come in. It's a few things that I think we should work on as a group. Knowing the numbers for the TV numbers and the TV revenue, not just getting a number, but knowing what we're really making and what they're really making. So it makes sense.
So you don't feel like the NBA is as transparent as they need to be?
Correct.
Especially with the owners and revenues and whatnot, right?
Correct. And the owners, they throw in rules, they throw in CBA collective bargaining agreement. They just throw it in, and without voting, without rehearsing. They have rules they throw in. They try to change the balls. Certain things they just do, and we allow it. And I think it should be changed. And a lot of people could say, of course, Ricky Davis is retired right now. Well, being retired lets me think more than just a basketball player. So that's why we got to get everybody just thinking more than just a basketball player.
Final thoughts on the NBA return. You said they shouldn't go. You think they should all just kind of stay home. But let me ask you this. What does that mean for next season if they completely just paused on this season?
Yeah, well, the season's almost over now anyway. The season would be over. So basically, it's just time to reflect on, the the coronavirus. What's going on? Realize that it's bigger than basketball. But, okay, so if we start to play now with the season, if everything starts back again, are we going to turn around and play in October again?
Fair question. And what is the plan right now? Once the season's over, when do they even have they articulated when the next season will start?
That's what I'm saying. Have they even went through that? Do the guys even know? Are they going to play next year? Are they not going to play next year? Let's try to focus on that, because that's 82 games of a lot of moving parts. So with social distancing, so I think maybe we should strategically try to work on that real season rather than make up a season now and then we losing time to work on the big season and the regular season.
So you mentioned earlier that there was a lockout year, and remember, I think the Mavs won that year. They came back and won, and there was
Well, the year I was in the lockout, I think San Antonio won.
San Antonio won. Okay.
David Robinson.
Do you see that win as an asterisk year? It wasn't a full, it really didn't count as much as previous years?
No, I don't. We played 50, 60 games. Normally it's 80 games, but we still actually started in December. So, we had a rear up. We had a training camp. Guys still had the regular season. Stuff was still going. We didn't play 50 games. We didn't play 80 games.
Right.
So, I think they still want it fair and square. Whether we're playing 80 games, you should have had more energy. So you should have had more juice, not playing so many more games. So,
couldn't you say the same thing for this in some ways? Couldn't you say the same thing for what's going on now with the COVID and comeback?
You could, but the season timing isn't the same timing.
Fair.
If the timing was August, September, yes, I would love it. I would be all for the guys going back to play, going back to normalcy, a little bit of normal life. But we're in the summertime. These are for the younger guys, the summer league teams, and those guys. But like I said, if the season starts regular season, are they going to play again?
So do you see a difference between pausing at the beginning and then just starting late versus almost having 60% of a season, stopping for 4 or 5 months and trying to pull it together at the end? Way different in your mind.
Way different. And then pulling together and then starting in the summertime.
Right. It just messes with the entire rhythm.
It's over. It's over now. I think they should be.
I think that's another concern that with the athletes also is going to be the cabin fever. I look at the things that they say that they're only allowed to do, the amenities that the athletes have while they're at Disneyland is play in the pool, lawn games, NBA 2K, trails to walk, and no doubles in ping pong.
Man, that if now that ain't AAU, I don't know what is. So some things now they got to wear ring chips to find out where they're at. Some of the stuff is just.
Do you feel like there will be a lot of NBA players going on walks on little walks through the park on little trails? Was that going to be trails will be full?
Right. Yeah. Just little walks and talks, and it's just weird. It's just weird. And for us to want to go back to play like that is weird. It lets me know that we're so far away and we're so not together as a unit, a fraternity. There's no way that I would play right now with the COVID-19 going on and all this stuff going on. There's no way. Now, okay. So are they going to pay these guys a crazy number? Are they going to pay them for hazardous pay too as well?
No, that's not talked about.
See what I mean? See, some stuff ain't even talked about, which that should be the first thing that we should be talking about. Our payment. Are we going to get paid a crazy number for coming back and doing something crazy? And are we going to get paid plus double for hazardous pay of the coronavirus?
So how would that work in your mind, considering salaries are all over the map in many ways?
Yeah. So is it double salary? It's just it's a lot of stuff that just is kind of don't make sense.
I mean, the main reason why they're coming back is for TV shares and the money that the owners are losing, and so they know that if they don't finish this season, there's been a number that's been called out that they're going to lose across the board in the NBA.
And who is they?
Of course, the owners. That's the issue, and that's what it comes down to. It's not really caring about the well-being of the player. It's more about, listen, we got to get them out there to play. We don't care if they get hurt, but as long as we get a TV rating, that means that we're going to save money.
Right. So this just that now that even sounds even worse, Mike. This sounds like they're puppets.
Wow. So I think it's very intriguing, Ricky, that you see the NBA in this situation right now, because I think everyone could see it a little bit differently, right? But man, I love what you're bringing out, because you're causing me to think about things that I hadn't thought about. I'm a fan, right? I'm watching from a fanship. I want to see this thing. I want to see you rolling because it makes me feel good, right?
Yeah.
Whole nother side on the inside.
And I want to see it too. I'm bored. I have cabin fever. I'm all this stuff, but people are dying.
It's all fun and games till somebody come up with a cough.
See, and then once he got it, everybody got it.
Exactly.
But my thing is, once we have it, they don't have nothing for us anyway.
So you just allow your body to fight it off. And does that necessarily? Yeah.
Everybody's saying this, go test, go do this, go do that. But okay, once I have a test, once I'm positive, what's the difference? No, you don't have nothing. You're going to give me some Tylenol.
You think we're fighting COVID with Tylenol right now? That's what you're saying right now.
COVID-19 with Tylenol.
That might be the title of this episode.
A lot of it just don't make sense. And I don't think guys are thinking. I don't think they're thinking. Of course, this is coming from a guy that's retired, not in the NBA, and he's thinking. So, maybe these guys need to think. And they're mad at Kyrie because he don't want to play. Maybe he's thinking about his family. Maybe he's thinking about his daughter. Maybe he's thinking about his son. It's serious, man. And, basketball is just something that we do. And for them to want to, because these owners, these guys are getting bailed out with bailout money. So
you're saying their losses are not that big right now?
To regain the TV deal, are the players going to get all of that just to regain it, or what?
That's very interesting. So, Ricky, you've been really amazing at starting some foundations, and you've been doing some things in the community that you're really proud of. Take a couple of minutes, just tell us about what's been going on there, and why do you do what you do?
Well, just coming from the inner city, growing up in the inner city, and it's a little rough. You have a lot to think about. You have gangs to think about. You have racism to think about. You have police to think about. You have no food in the refrigerator to think about. So, thinking about homework is like it's little to compare to what inner city kids are going through. So growing through that myself, I told myself I wanted to start a foundation when I made it to the NBA. So I started my foundation my first year in the NBA. And what we stand for is basically serving underserved families, underserved communities. They're not underprivileged. They're not unfortunate. They're just underserved.
I love that. I love that specific mindset. That's definitely a nuance and a very clear difference there. I like that.
Yeah, and they're just underserved. So our foundation just, however I could use my platform, that's what I was doing, and just donating to church groups and stuff. But now that I've had the time to sit down and run my foundation, we've started several mentoring programs.
Wow.
We started our Dribble Out Hunger campaign that we've been doing since 2016, where we fed over 40,000 people and families so far. And we're going 4 million people so far. So, and we have our STEM units. We have our homeless stuff that we do. So we have a lot of programs that we're running, and bringing in big pillars in the community, bridging the gap between underserved communities and pillars in the communities. We're giving them resources. So That's something that we started now. We've actually now, since the COVID-19 has started, we've actually started your Feed Your City Challenge.
Oh, that's amazing. I love the fact that you're still continuing to make a difference in the world around you, and you're probably even more focused on it now than ever, right?
Yes, and that's what it's all about, just trying to make that difference and getting these guys with the resources to put them together.
You know, the beauty is, Rick, is that people wouldn't know this about you based off of, you know, what they may read from you as a professional athlete. They wouldn't really know that your heart was really a heart after the people of God. And I'm grateful, honestly, to be a friend of yours. You know, we've built relationships over the years. We laughed, we've went to war together, and I'm truly grateful, man, for you to be able to come in today, man, and really shed light on, you know, the NBA, light on yourself, light on what you're doing. You know, if there's any final words that you want to leave with us, we have you know, we want you to shout out your foundation, whatever other things you got going on, man. We want to also be a platform for you as well and all the athletes that we have on our show.
Man, I appreciate it, Mike. I appreciate it so much. Well, you know, our foundation is the Ricky Davis Legacy Foundation.org. Our Twitter handle is the Ricky Davis Legacy Foundation, Instagram, all of it. You know, you can follow us there. If you can't help, and be boots on the ground, you know, you can click you can click up a button, you can donate to help us, boots on the ground, you know, just helping all these underserved families. You know, just shout out to you, Mike, you know, for, you know, always keeping me straight and keeping me sane, you know, and always keeping that godly mentality with you. You know, that's rubbed off on me a lot. So just hats off to you, and thanks for having me on the show, brother.
Man, you don't know how much that really means to me. That's genuinely, that means a lot to me, because who you are when no one's watching is one thing, but who you are from another person's opinion is always important too, because you may think that you are a certain way and your personality is a certain way, but then a person be like, oh, hold on, dog, that ain't what you
no.
really what
Right. That's it. Exactly.
People, man, really try to walk it and talk it. You know,
yes, sir. Oh yeah, you do, for sure. So that's a good goal. Good, you know, we the same age, but I use you like a mentor, you know, and it's definitely keeps me focused.
Ricky, thank you for being on the show. We appreciate you so much, man, and can't wait to see you again soon, hopefully.
Hey, thanks, guys. I appreciate you.
Thanks, Tricky. Salute.
All right, have a good one. Salute, brother.
Thank you for joining us today on Mission Bound. We'll see you soon. Make sure you check back. Have a great day.